But I think that this is a good segue into like another topic I wanted to ask you about, because you've also spent time on the ground in what is considered Israel. Um, and Israel's not a normal society. This is not to say that like America is, or that any other Western country is, but Israel is a very unique place because it's a 19th, 20th century style settler colony in 2023. And as a result, the basically entire Israeli public, the vast majority of it, is inculcated to hate and to essentially support the erasure of the indigenous people of that country. And as a result, you have a populace that is genocidal. I'm not saying every single person is, but even, journalists in Israel like Gideon Levy or Amira Haas will say they are like in the extreme minority, and that the vast majority of the country, like from liberal from across the spectrum, is like supports like ethnically cleansing Palestinians and killing them.
Like our colleagues that lived in Palestine testify to that. I mean, like David Sheen, for example, has embedded himself in these 1,000-strong openly fascist rallies that they'll be chanting death to the left, death to the videographers, referring to B'Tselem videographers who just film, atrocities sometimes on camera and dare to release them. And those people are considered the actual enemy. There's a saying inside Israeli society that the left is like AIDS. And so, yeah, no, it's crazy. It's like you need to get rid of the left before you can get rid of like what you die from when you have AIDS. It's like really, really dark. And I spoke to, that was like just a pure organic sampling of Israelis on the street. A lot of people say that, oh, I maliciously cut that together. I purposely made Israelis look genocidal. No, that is just a random sampling of what Israeli society is like, right? I spoke to one guy later on in the video, one guy who said he is a leftist. And I was like, well, what does that actually mean? And he said he just wants the occupation to be more humane. And that's considered the left side of the spectrum there. And so it really is a fascist state, 100% fascist state. During the Trump administration, or like I think it was like the 2016 election and 2020, like people were doing man on the streets there, and everyone loved Trump. Like everyone loved Trump. Everyone hated Bernie Sanders because he was seen as, too.
They hated the Jew.
He was a Jew. It's crazy. It's like you see this reflected in polling too. I mean, during the Great March of Return, like the shoot to fire policy that killed hundreds of unarmed protesters and wounded thousands more with live ammunition, 95% of Israelis agreed with that, Rania. Like when you have a society in lockstep supporting policies like that, you can't really say the same thing about America. Yeah, we're a settler colonial state, and there's plenty of blood on our hands for the genocide that took place here. But like, this is like active colonization happening daily, where people are surrounded by like a martial lawed, walled off areas where Palestinians are just like living in apartheid rule, and then 40 miles away from an actual like concentration camp. It's really surreal. And you do have to have like not just cognitive dissonance, but you do have to have hate in your heart, born and bred into that indoctrination in order to be okay living there. Because American citizens, we don't all have dual citizenship. We don't have passports where we can just flee when we're disgusted with what our government does in our names, which I wish that I had like a safe haven to go to escape from this country. But Israelis do. That's why you see Israelis traveling all over the world. Like a lot of them have dual passports. A lot of them, if you're an anti-Zionist Israeli Jew, like you just leave. How the hell could you live in that society? And a lot of the people that we know that are anti-racist Israelis do leave. And so it just continues to consolidate that racism and that hatred. And it's really unfortunate.